We cannot talk about Aquarius season without talking about Pluto in Aquarius. The biggest transit that everyone is talking about right now is Pluto's return to the sign of Aquarius. Now, this is a really big deal for several reasons. First of all, a planet like Pluto that takes 248 years to go around the sun does not change signs very frequently, really only a handful of times in the average lifespan. So this is a very big deal. The last time we saw Pluto change signs was in 2008 when Pluto entered Capricorn. Now, we're not totally done with Pluto in Capricorn. We still have a little bit of that transit left at the very tail end of 2024. So yeah, at the very end of 2024, we're going to see Pluto enter Capricorn on September 1st, and it's going to return to Aquarius on November 19th. So yeah, we still have a couple more months of that transit left. But what we are doing is we're getting more and more comfortable and more familiar collectively with Pluto's role in the sign of Aquarius. So in 2023, we did see Pluto enter Aquarius. That would have been on March 23rd, and then it would have gone back into Capricorn on June 11th. So we're seeing the return now. This is the second ingress of Pluto into Aquarius. So here we are, January 20th, 2024, the Sun and Pluto are going to waltz into the sign of Aquarius hand in hand. But before they do that, they're going to meet in an exact conjunction at 29 degrees Capricorn. We all know that the 29th degree, the 30th degree, 29 degrees of any sign is a crisis point. It's a point of intensification, and it really amplifies whatever is going on there. So we're going to see sort of this high peak, fever pitch element around Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. And the biggest thing that I'm observing in conversation with people in our Cauldron Discord, that's my monthly astrology meetup, is this topic of corporate trash and corporate greed and just all the excesses and the unnecessary bullshit that we have to deal with in our society because of, making a profit. And it's like, I think we're all reaching this point of collective exhaustion with this. Like, why can't we just get with the program? Like, we're basically seeing safety inspections on airplanes. This is something we talked about in Cauldron, being overlooked just to make a profit. And we're seeing that, when we look at the environment and even politics and how money shapes those decisions that we make in the collective for us as a nation. We're seeing, one of the other really big things that we're seeing is like the funding of wars. And I know everyone just always comes back to like, what if that money was just put into our community and our healthcare and all that? And so that's, I think, what's going to be the focal point of the sun's conjunction with Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. We're seeing like the maximum threshold of what Pluto in Capricorn has done. And it really has, not only has Pluto in Capricorn really exposed the level of corruption that is just going on in our everyday lives, but it also made it worse. Like, we've seen the wealth gap increase, and disparities are affecting a lot more people economically. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to see as the sun is a point of illumination, really highlighting Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. This is also going to intensify the theme of endings. So I know I've talked about that here as Pluto has kind of been hanging out in these final degrees of Capricorn, squaring the nodes earlier in the year. It's a big point of endings. Big chapters are closing for people at this time. So let's talk about Pluto in Aquarius. So first of all, Pluto is going to return to Aquarius later in that day on the 20th. So we're going to be kind of feeling both at the same time. And I did a longer video really detailing all the things that we might see with Pluto in Aquarius from a historical standpoint. But let's recap some of the things that we've seen since the first ingress in March of 2023. And the biggest thing was the AI boom and how freaked out people got and how excited people got about the prospects of AI, what it can do for us in terms of advancements in science, in health, in medicine, in materials. But we've also seen the downside of that. We've seen an abominable increase in the way that our privacy can be compromised. I mean, I saw something this week where it was like AI can find any location based on any photo. And, that could be problematic for certain people. Also, the authenticity factor, it's copying artists' work and just kind of taking from artists and creators. And I think many of us, especially me as an astrologer, I'm wondering, like, on one hand, how cool that would be if I could teach an AI robot every ancient text, every technique, and have that as like an ally. If you take my idea, just credit me, please. Um, but I'm also worried, like, what if that AI is like smarter and takes my job? And I think a lot of people are nervous about that. So one of the biggest things that we're going to see with Pluto and Aquarius is questions around ethics. That's going to be one of the biggest things that we see is ethical concerns about, yes, we have this technology and yes, we have this tool, but just because we can do something, does that mean that we should? And one of the biggest issues we've seen with technology is that it evolves so rapidly that it's more difficult to set constraints around it and rules and guidelines and laws. And so, yeah, we're seeing issues with that now. It's just harder to keep up and harder to keep up. So we're going to see those issues compound while Pluto is in Aquarius. The level of surveillance and invasiveness is going to just increase exponentially. So that's kind of the scary part about this. So what is the cost of interconnectedness? What is the cost of advancing technologically? And one other article I saw this week was something about someone realized that their washing machine was sending out intense amounts of data over their Wi-Fi. And I know because we got a new appliance last year, 2 years ago, and it has the option to connect to Wi-Fi. And I'm just like, why do I need my oven to connect to Wi-Fi? I could see if you leave the house and you're wondering, did I turn the oven off? But other than that, I think it's really just to harvest people's data. And it's stupid. Like, is that something that we really need? So that might be something that we're thinking about with Pluto in Aquarius. And the other thing I'll just add here is that we are in an age of air. So we started to see the Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions in air. That's happening for the next 200 years. We had one in 1980, and then we went back to Earth, our last Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Earth in the year 2000. And then in 2020, we saw that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius. So that's where Pluto is activating right now. So this is a major activation of that aspect as well. So yeah, we are in the age of air. So the collective themes for the next 200 years are going to start shifting more toward education, technology, knowledge, the advancement of knowledge, and invention. That's going to be a really big one. Another thing that we see during air ages is the movement of people. So we're going to see a lot of borders change, a lot of national borders change, and also, sadly, pandemics. So we've already seen that a little bit. So just know that we're probably going to see more of that. But hopefully we all know what to do, and hopefully we'll get it right next time. So yeah, Pluto and Aquarius, those are some of the things that we can expect. And yeah, we're going to see Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years through 2041. And we're also going to see Uranus enter Gemini in 2025. And yeah, so there's just like a huge paradigm shift for us around the corner as all these outer planets change signs. Neptune's going to enter Aries also in 2025. Big stuff. All the outer planets changing signs. Really big deal. Saturn's also going to enter Aries in 2025. So we're just on the precipice here of a major paradigm shift. That's why Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn is symbolic of this collective order, really on the precipice of a major change. So yeah, a lot of these planets are moving into air. We've got the Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions happening in air. So we can't even fathom the way that our society, the infrastructure, technology, we can't even fathom how all of that is about to shift in a major paradigm shifting way. So yeah, I've talked a little bit more about that with Sabrina Monarch on her podcast, Magic of the Spheres. I also did another video on Pluto and Aquarius here on my channel, so you can go ahead and check those out. And until next time, this is your astrology shot of the day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also study astrology with me. The Foundations of Astrology course is an 11-week mentorship. It begins on January 25th. You can visit my website for more details, where you can also book your year ahead astrology reading with me, where we'll get into your personal natal chart, transits, progressions, profections, and the solar return. I look forward to connecting with you. Till next time. Bye.